I'm Stacy Gordon. Welcome to That's My Jam. Y'all, I don't usually get nervous when I do these videos, but today I am nervous. It's been a minute since I recorded a video using one of my classic TMJ recipes. This recipe is from years ago when I was actually selling jams and jellies. Oh, and ice cream toppings, because that's what this is today. This particular flavor came in second only to my #1 seller, apple butter. But it was a close second because this stuff is nectar of the gods, if you ask me. I figure right now we're somewhere in between ice cream season and caramel apple season. So today, I'm going to finally share my recipe for Come On Home Girl Salted Caramel. Y'all, it's been years since I actually made this salted caramel, but I'm pretty sure I can still pull it off. In fact, if you're seeing this video, I must have pulled it off. We need a decent sized saucepan. We're going to put that on some medium-high heat, and we're going to add 2 cups of sugar. Now, I don't know if you've ever just cooked sugar before, but it's kind of crazy, so stay with me here. Never at any time during this process are we going to go very far away. We're certainly never going to leave the kitchen. But for now, we want to let this do its thing. We want to let the sugar heat up to the point that it starts to melt. I'm going to be standing by with a stick and a half or 12 tablespoons of salted butter. We're just going to put that right there. Other ingredients that I'm going to have close by: some good sea salt, some vanilla extract, and a cup of heavy whipping cream. Those are all at the ready. Also, I've sterilized some jars. I can't remember exactly how much this makes, so I sterilized 2 8-ounce jars and 2 16-ounce jars. Okay, I'm going to need you to see that crazy things are starting to happen in here. The sugar is caramelizing. As soon as this becomes a caramel colored paste, we're going to add our butter. Get ready, it might be a little bit angry. The butter is going to sizzle while it's melting. That's why you need to make sure you have a decent sized pan. I'm just going to keep whisking that. From this point forward, we are not going to walk away from this caramel. Not even for a second. There's going to be a lot of whisking going on here for a minute, but I think it's important for me to leave the camera on and show you exactly what I'm doing during this process. Once the butter's melted, we're going to turn the heat off. We want to just keep working this butter. And now we're ready to add our cream. I threw this back over on my hot burner because I didn't feel like everything was breaking up well enough. But it is now. While we're stirring, I'm going to show you some pictures of some dishes that I've actually made using this salted caramel. I have a feeling you might see a few of these in some upcoming videos. Once we feel like it's smooth, we're going to add just a bit of vanilla extract and just under a tablespoon of our sea salt. Sudden changes in temperature are what causes the little toffee chips to form. That's why you want to make absolutely positive that your butter and your cream are room temperature before you add them. You can always strain them out, but it's best just to not have them to start with. Make no mistake, what we've got in this pot will burn you. It is extremely hot, and you have to be very, very careful when you're making this caramel. I don't recommend letting any kids or even pets, not even Marley G, in the kitchen while you're doing this. This is some hot stuff. While I let this caramel cool down just a couple minutes, I want to show you what I'm going to be using to get this into my sterilized jars. I've got a canning funnel with a strainer. This is going to keep any little chunks of toffee out of your caramel. I'm going to place that canning funnel with the strainer inside my jar. And now we're going to transfer some of this caramel. I'm going to keep my body back just a little bit here. You can already see there's going to be some toffee chips in there. All right, we've filled up one. Let's move over to the second one. I think I'm just going to use a small canning jar for this one because it just doesn't look like there's that much left. And in it goes. The amount of these little toffee crystals that you have left over changes with every batch you make. I almost always have some, but it seems like I have quite a lot today. That's probably because I haven't made this in a while. I'm just going to fidget with those a little bit so that any liquid caramel can find its way through that strainer. But never fear, these little crystals, flippin' delicious. Be careful though, they're hot. Chewy toffee. This caramel needs time to cool down for a few minutes before we sample it. This salted caramel is not safe to use any kind of canning method and put it on the shelf. This needs to have a lid and it needs to be stored in the refrigerator. You guys have seen me use these little screw top lids before. They're perfect. My absolute favorite way to enjoy this salted caramel is to pour it over vanilla ice cream. Since we're moving into the fall season, I'm going to dip it in some apples today for our taste test. This will thicken as it cools, but I want to taste it warm. Hard to tell after just one. I can't make this, eat this, think about this without thinking about my good friend Tammy Garrett. She loved this salted caramel so much. And I miss you, Tammy. I wish you were here to share this with me today. And of course, I have to give a shout out to my friend Carla, who was with me the day we came up with the name. This salted caramel can be a tiny bit intimidating to make, but don't be scared. Give it a try. If you mess it up, you can always make another batch. The one thing that I would stress, however, is that you always use safety because this is extremely hot. I sincerely hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Don't forget to tune in on Thursday for Something in a Pot. In the meantime, turn off the TV, turn on some heart, and just keep jamming.